Hi everybody, I'm back with a hunting story. It's a this happened to me story, and you can believe it or not believe it. This was one of my instruments of game procurement. I got to be careful of my choice of words here because Mr. YouTube maybe not like what I say. Well, anyway, I'm going to set this down on the table. This is a story from back around 1991, I think it was. I was working as a ranger at Girl Scout camp up at Panther Lake, which was north of Oneida Lake in central New York State. It was getting to be the fall, and some of my neighbor buddies and I had been planning for over a year that we wanted to go game hunting up in the north woods of Canada and try to get a trophy. There's a section of the forest up there called the Windago forest, and it is supposed to be possessed by Indian spirits. And the legend goes that you can't go into the forest 3 times. You can go in twice, but if you go in the 3rd time, the spirits that protect the forest will basically kill you. We didn't think anything of it. We arranged for a time off. We've been saving for a year for the money. And this forest area up in Canada is just to the southwest of the south end of Hudson Bay. A lot of lumbering and logging going on up there. But from what we've heard, the Windago forest, they don't log it. All the loggers up there are Indians, and they are kind of superstitious about their legends. So nobody has ever gone into this area of the forest called the Windago. And the woods is prime virgin forest. Nothing has ever been cut down in there because they won't go in there. We take off in the morning, drive all day, stay overnight halfway between Hudson Bay and the Canadian border down by New York State. Let's take off the next morning, go up to the village where the hunting guides operate out of. Somehow, when we got there, all the guides were out. And the way the guide system works is that if you want to go to the Windago, an inexperienced guide for that part of the forest will go with someone who's been there once already to learn the way. So the next time he will be the lead guide and someone new will come along with him. That way they can perpetuate their guide service. But we got to the village and there was nobody around. All the guides were out. And we looked and we asked. They said, nope, everybody's out. You're too late. And then we saw this one Indian guide, looked like a guide, sitting on a bench in front of a store. And we said, we're looking for a guide to go Windago Forest. You ever been up there? And he says, yeah, I've been up there twice. Well, can you take us? We'll pay you good. No, I don't want to go there a 3rd time. I'll never come back. That's what he told us. Well, we talked with him and pleaded with him and finally offered him pay 3 times the normal rate. And he finally succumbed to our request and said, okay, I'll go with you. So the guide had a Jeep, like a Wagoneer type thing, a Jeep rodeo type thing. And we started going. We drove all day. And the gravel road turned into a dirt road. And the forest, obviously, through this area had been logged. There were a lot of trees standing, but there was a lot of trees missing. And then we come, it's getting to be dark, and we come to a section where the forest all of a sudden looks dark, that the trees hadn't been cut. And we said, well, what are we going to do? And he says, well, we're going to make camp here, and then tomorrow at the break of light, we'll continue into the forest, which was what we did. We made camp and shot, I think it was a couple of rabbits or something, and then cooked them for dinner, and then continued on the next day. We went till about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And he says, well, this is where we're going to have to make camp. We're deep in the forest now. And then tomorrow morning, I'll take you out. We'll see if we can find any trophy animals for you to take. He said, oh, great, that's great. So we're sitting around the fire, cooking some animals, rabbits again, that we had shot for dinner. And it's getting dark. And the guide is getting nervous. And he says, no, I can't stay here. The Windago spirit is going to get me. We got to leave. We got to pack up and leave right now. And we says, no, you made a deal with us. We're paying you good money. You got to stay. And we're sitting around the campfire, and the guy is sitting off on the side. We're talking around each other, talking about what we're trying to hunt and how we're going to go about it. And the guy's sitting off on the side, and he jumps up and he starts to run towards the Jeep. We go after him, say, wait, no, don't go there. We got to stay. We're here for the night. And he says, no, we got to go. I don't know what overcame him, but we made him come back, sit down back at the fire. And to make sure that he wouldn't do this again, we took his boots off. So all he had was stocking feet. That'll keep him from running away, leaving us stranded in the forest. A little while later, he gets nervous. And we hear the leaves. The leaves hadn't completely fallen off the trees yet. And we hear the leaves rustling. A breeze is coming up. We don't think anything of it, but he's looking up at the leaves. He's getting scared. And he says, no, we got to go. And he gets up and he starts running. And he's running blindly through the woods, through the virgin forest. And we get up, we're chasing after him. He didn't have a flashlight, but we did. And we're following him. And we see spots of blood on the ground where he's cutting his feet. And we hear him crashing through the underbrush ahead of us. And we're hollering, wait, come back. And all of a sudden it's silent. We follow the spots of blood from the bloody feet. We suspect they were bloody feet. Shining our flashlights, following the broken brush, the broken twigs. And all of a sudden we come to an edge of a cliff. It's a good thing we stopped. We were careful because we could have fallen right over it in the dark. Him running in the dark went over the cliff. We shine our lights down, flashlights. We have these, didn't have LED lights then. We're just powerful incandescent flashlights. And down off of the cliff, way down deep, several hundred feet, was all dead pine trees. And all the dead branches are sticking up like spikes up in the air. And we scan the lights down and around and all over. And all of a sudden we see his body impaled on a pine tree. The dead branches poking through his body, dripping down off the blood down off. There was no way to get his body back out of there. We're hundreds of feet in the air. And we're standing there trying to think what to do. And then we hear way down at the far end of this canyon that these pine trees are in, off the cliff, we hear the wind starting to pick up. And it's going like that. We never heard anything like it before. We were scared. And it's coming. And it sounds like voices. It says, the wind. The wind is talking to us. We've never heard anything like it. The Windago. The Windago wants you. That's what it sounds like. The Windago wants you. And we all heard it. We couldn't believe it. And the wind picks up. And it's getting to it's just churning and blowing. And the pine trees down below are moving around even though there's no needles on them. The Windago wants you. The Windago wants...